Hey guys, I'm excited to say that I just came out of an interview today and I got a job. So today I just wanted to, since it's fresh in my mind, I wanted to give you like tips and how the interview process goes and whatnot, okay? So let's get started, okay? I feel like you guys are sliding, not as much as I'm trying to keep this a certain way. I can't. Okay. There might be noises in the background with the kids and stuff, so just bear with me. So, it is now March. Okay, March. Oh my god. March 17th. It's St. Patrick's Day. Lucky day, right? So, the week before that was my spring break. A lot of people that kind of like work already in the hospital, they get job offers like that. Like some people. Like, they're real cool with their managers, and they just like, oh, they already, when they started nursing school, they're probably like, you're going to work here, you're fine, they already have a job. But not everyone's that lucky, or you can even work, you could be working in healthcare, and you just want to change. You don't even want to be in the floor that you're working on, you know? Or the floor that you're working on doesn't hire new grads, or they need you to have, I don't know. Because I know some people that work in the ED, maybe sometimes they need a 1 year experience to be in the ED or something like that. I'm not 100%. I know they hire new grads in the ED. It just depends. Or they just don't want to. Maybe they saw nurses working there and they don't like the way that they work. But I don't want to get too off topic. So, it's okay. I think in March is always like a good time to, if you're going to graduate in May, March is a good time to start looking for a job. I decided to start job searching on my spring break, just so I could have a little break. You know, on my spring break, I have a whole week off for interviews. So I applied on a Sunday so that all the people could see it on Monday, right? All the people that recruiters or whatnot could see it on Monday. So I applied to 7 positions and from 2 different hospitals. So one hospital, I applied for one position, which was a cardiac vascular heart failure floor. And then another hospital, it was under the same branch, I applied to 3 positions there. And that one was acute rehab, you know, that I told you that I did acute rehab rotation there. I applied to, what's the other one I applied for? A cardiac floor that I am rotating on on Saturdays. A respiratory floor, and a float. The float one, I'll tell you in a minute. And then I did float. And then my other hospital, the hospital that I just said is not under the same name. So the first hospital I told you, that's under the same name. This one's a different name, but the other one was, I applied to a liver floor that I rotated on. Hold on a second. Okay, where was I? The branch with the same, so it was a liver floor. I applied to that floor because I rotated on that floor. And I applied to a cardiac step down and a med surg unit there. So the thing with those hospitals are you can't apply to, you're technically supposed to only apply to one position per hospital because the recruiter's like, what do you want? You know, like, you can't apply to a whole bunch of floors, I guess. I don't understand why, but... So they will call you and ask you, like, they might ask you, it depends. So, like, for the one hospital that I applied for the cardiac vascular heart failure floor, the recruiter also works in HR. So she kind of, like, did a little mini interview. So she asked me, like, why you wanted to pick this floor, describe a time where you that you provided quality patient-centered care. And, you know, obviously come up with a freaking answer, guys. And then she told me, like, what unit am I looking for? That one I only applied for the one. So I'm like, I'm interested in that one unit that I applied for. So she set up an interview for me that Friday. That was Monday. Friday I had an interview for them. Then another recruiter contacted me. But she didn't work for HR. She was just a recruiter. So she's like, okay, what floor, out of those 3 positions, what floor do you like the best? I told her the transplant floor. So she went ahead and did 2 interviews on the same Friday. So I had 3 interviews in a row. So one was with HR, and it was through Zoom. All my 3 interviews for Friday were Zoom. So she interviewed me I mean, the guy that interviewed me, it wasn't even an interview. It was just like basic. He told me about the new grad program, told me about like everything, how much orientation is, all this stuff. And then right after that interview, so the first interview was at 9 a.m. with the cardiac vascular floor. And then the second and third interview were back to back so one was from 9 to 9:30, the other one was 10:30 to 11 to 11:30. Funny, crazy thing is that there's like a portal that you could withdraw your applications to see if they're under review. All of them were under review. I withdrew 2 of them because you can only do 1 per hospital. So I withdrew those, right? So that Friday, right after the interview, I saw that it said updated. It still said under review, but it said updated, and I couldn't withdraw it. The other one for 9 o'clock, I could still withdraw it, and it didn't say updated or anything. So that same, so that's Friday. So Monday rolls along, and the guy emails me saying that, like, they're looking for something closer to I don't know what it was, but they were looking for someone else, basically. And I feel like it was because I kept mentioning 8-hour shifts. I didn't know that 8-hour shifts were a thing with nursing. I always thought it was 12, but no, there is 8-hour shifts. The one hospital that's not under those 2 other branches is the other hospital where I did most of my rotations at. They actually offer 3 different shifts. And it's actually like 4 different shifts, to be honest. They do 12-hour shifts, which are 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. And then they have 3 to 11:30, which is an evening shift. And then they have, actually, I feel like they have 11 to 7 and 7 to 3. They have like 5 shifts. Like, it's just crazy. So anyway, that being said, that was that, right? So I was like, oh, okay. I actually wasn't going to, even if they were to tell me, give me an offer, I wouldn't accept the offer because that particular hospital, you had to pay $52 a month for parking. It was only 12-hour shifts. Like, I just couldn't. Like, I couldn't. Like, it's just, I can't. Even though it was, all the hospitals are literally all near me. They're all like 15, 20 minutes away. So driving there is not a problem. So, we have to backtrack a little bit, okay? So, before that Friday, that Thursday, there was a hiring event for the hospital, for one of the hospitals, not the big branches, the other ones. So I went there, and I met with the people from acute rehab, which we talked, and then there was another lady there talking about the respiratory floor, and they were, basically they interviewed me. Basically, I was very outgoing. I show my personality. If there's anything, please don't be like stuck up and like, even if you're nervous, just try to be friendly, try to be outgoing and stuff. They asked me what were my weaknesses, and, I would just mention something like, I'm too honest. I'm too caring, and, that makes it's a good, like, something that's weak, it's something that you're weak, but it's a strength in a way. And they asked me what my strengths were, and I said, my time management, my organization, things like that. Then, they asked me, name a time, what would you do if, like, you didn't get along with a doctor, or one of your fellow co-workers, and, I just said, I would ask them, what am I doing wrong, and then if they still can't, then I'll talk to the charge nurse. Some other questions that I got for interviews were, name a time when you made a mistake, and I named, like, I charted on the wrong person, and I realized it quickly, and I made sure to never make that mistake again. That was for the floor that denied me. I'm sure that they're not going to deny me because of that mistake, I didn't kill somebody, okay? So anyway, so that Thursday I met with those ladies, and then I went to I did apply for float pool, but once I found out the information, like, you get there, and I thought it was like almost like travel nursing, where you get a set place to float for a while, but no, every day is a different place. You don't know where you're going. You could get rotated to places that you hate, and then you keep getting rotated there. I just couldn't. Even if it paid more, I didn't like it. So I withdrew my application for that. Then after that room, I went to a cardiac. Like, every room was different. So the cardiac room, and it was more like I didn't have a one-on-one with this lady. It was like 2 other students who were just talking. When I opened up my folder, she was like, oh, I pulled your resume. So I'm like, oh, this is where I'm rotating on Saturday. So I'm like, I like that. I really did like that floor and everything, but they offer 3 to 11 shifts too, but it wasn't like set in stone. And when they told me to set in stone for respiratory, that's why I aimed more for respiratory. So for some reason that's Thursday. That Friday, I emailed the lady and told her all my availability. She didn't get back to me that Friday. Okay. So then Sunday, I emailed the other lady. She was actually the manager for the respiratory floor was on vacation, so she's relying on the other people to like talk to the new grads and stuff. So I emailed her really nice and hi, my name is so and so. I met with this person and this person at the hiring event. I'm interested in the respiratory position because the hours are what works for me. My availability is so and so. Hope to hear from you soon. Literally a minute later, she replies on her vacation, okay? She replies to me and it's like, oh, yes. The so-and-so said you were great for the position. I'm available Thursday at 2 o'clock, which is today, Thursday. And so I go, so my friend works there. So she asked her, how's your, she asked about me. And she told her about me. And she literally, in the email, was like, oh yeah, I heard that you were great, da 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 da. I told the recruiter to send to go ahead and put your references through and to proceed with offer. I was like, oh my god. So I got my references done. I did my background check. Basically, I'm hired because when I looked at this position, it's not there anymore. And today we met and it was great. We talked about everything and it was really nice. She's nice. She's like, and she kept saying, you don't have to work here. So the thing with that floor is it's very hard. Like they say, it's very hard. It's a lot of work. It's a respiratory floor. There's people with trachs, people with intubation. There's a lot going on. My long-term goal is to become a nurse practitioner. And this is good for me. Like to see critically ill. I didn't do nursing school to not be able to take care of critically ill patients, to play it safe. I don't do that. So that's what I did. I took the position. It's 3 to 11:30. I got a differential. I'll just say it. I get paid $34.68 base, $38 for evenings, and when I work weekends, I'm gonna get paid $44 an hour, and all 8-hour shifts. I'm not mandatory. It's not mandatory to do 12. I'm never gonna do a 12 probably unless I pick up a shift. If you pick up a shift, you get extra. So yeah, I just wanted to say I got the job. Now I just gotta pass nursing school, pass the boards. And I'll be working with my best friend. She's gonna be working the night shift. I'll see her for a little bit, but it's really nice. I'm excited. If you have any questions, leave them below. And yeah, don't be nervous. Like I'm very super nervous talking about it, but you just gotta give your personality and just talk. And sometimes you gotta bullshit a little bit, but don't make it seem like you don't want to work for them because then you're not gonna get the job. But I can also I love it. She works for 2 different floors, so like I can even rotate to the acute rehab floor if I ever feel like picking up a shift and I want it to be a little lighter. And I know I'm gonna learn a lot from it, and I'm excited. Down below, I don't know, I'm gonna leave a link if I can of like in case you want to know like how much taxes you're gonna get taken off your paycheck and all that kind of stuff, and insurance. Your insurance stuff, when you get, like, they should give that to you. When you go for an interview, they should be able to send, HR will send you that stuff. If you request it, they'll send you it. Very quickly, when you're interviewing, try to ask questions. So the questions that I asked was, what's the nurse to patient ratio? What's orientation like? What's the teamwork like on this unit? What can I do to prepare myself for this unit? What other questions did I ask? Maybe the pay rate, if you really don't know the pay rate. I don't know, say it's not good to do that. I think that's about it. I know that on my floor that I'm going to work at, they say if you could work on this floor, you can work on any floor. So my goal is to work there for like 1.5 to 2 years and move to ICU and maybe ED as well after the ICU. And then work that I got all my experience in. Like, if you get 6 years experience doing that, or even 5 years of doing all those 3, and I'm ready for nurse practitioner school. So that's the goal. That's the goal, you guys. So ask those kind of questions. I said, like, what do you expect from new grad? Things like that. Like, ask away, because it's gonna help you a ton. And you know, somebody would have told me, well, so you're going to work in the respiratory floor, I would have laughed because I was always scared of trachs and stuff. But sometimes, I don't know what it is, I gravitate to things that I fear for some weird reason, except for bees. I will not try to touch a bee. I don't like bugs. But when it comes to, like, this kind of stuff, like, I feel like I gravitate to it because, like, why fear it so much? Why? You're going to learn. You're going to get taught it. You're going to excel. Just pray to God. You're going to excel. You're going to do well. And if it's not meant to be, they'll, you know, you can talk to your manager and say, hey, like, I need to get out of here. I can't. This is not good for my mental health or whatever. But, I'm excited. You know, I was so nervous of not being able to get a job because I have no experience. But trust me, you know, they're hiring. They're hiring like crazy when it comes to nursing. So I'll start in July. God willingly, I pass my NCLEX on the first shot. I'll start in July. 36 hours a week. It's 32 1 week, 40 1 week. It ends up being 72 hours. It's just like a hot mess. But 1 weekend on, 1 weekend off. It's really nice. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun too. I just can't wait. I can't wait to start my career because it's been a doozy, you know. Right now, acing my classes. Super excited about that. But you guys will hear about all this. Like, I'm finally gonna do my other vid. Like, technically, I didn't even graduate yet. It's only March. You're gonna see this video sometime in May. Like, when you're watching this live, it'll be sometime in May. And then I'll be and then you're probably seeing this video. And then, like, you'll see another video before that talking about how I graduated. It's kind of, like, all over the place. But I like to pre-record my videos and put them on YouTube unlisted or private. And then I'll shoot them. I'll just put them all up there at once. Because I don't like to brag or anything before I even graduate, you know. But God willingly, I will graduate. So, like I said, if you have questions, just leave them down below. Okay? Bye!